I mean, the fact that this is happening as a trend, people are so ready to accept the fact that men are creeps. They'll actually go to the gym and set up a camera expecting to find it. And then finding it when it's not even there. I mean, you wonder just how bad is the day to day between male and female college students and male and female coworkers. Are this many people this messed up? Because I've never actually been in an environment where, at least not here in Florida, in Los Angeles all the time. But other than Los Angeles, I've never actually met people like this in real life. But they're obviously out there. So how many people actually really think this way?
Uh, just before you play it, I do want to give like a quick story. At my university, I do go to the gym 5 days a weekish, and there's a guy who comes around the early hours, and he's like a workout influencer, and he is so he has a camera set up all the time when he's working out, but he never dares ask like a female for help at the gym. Like I see him, like there will be like I've just made this observation because I was like next to him, there's a female on the other side. And he was looking around for like the closest guy he could ask to like spot him in the video, and spot him when he turned off the video too. And it's like he had like the scared look when I was like looked over and saw him. So that's what it just seems like is that they're so terrified because of this trend to even ask for help at the gym.
Yeah, and it is something that kind of permeates everywhere. I mean, as a guy, I'm always aware if I go out to any social setting, right? If it's a mall or a restaurant or the grocery store, I'm aware that you really can't approach a woman your age without some people saying, "Oh, is he hitting on her? Is he trying to be inappropriate?" And normal day-to-day interactions have been really soured, and there's a certain tension almost with some people who, if they see anything happen, they automatically assume the worst. And if you're in the gym just working out, and then you wake up the next morning and you see there's a TikTok about you with 100,000 views calling you a creep, I mean, just kind of imagine what that would feel like out of nowhere. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really not all that funny.
No, that would be a nightmare.
There was actually a quote unquote, well, there was a joke satire video on TikTok of this a little while ago, and it was this. It basically demonstrated how easy this sort of like an actual creep video would be to fake. And it's like a woman hands a guy her phone and then asks him to record her doing a routine. And so her actual camera is recording her and the guy in the background with his phone pointed at her ass, basically. And then she, in the middle of her routine, she goes, "Excuse me, can I help you?" To the guy, and the guy's like, "What?" And then she goes, "Oh, nothing." But she just cuts out the "oh, nothing" and cuts it together into like one of these videos. But that's not even what's happening in these videos, as you can see. Like it's guys just walking past or sitting in the background who get this stuff. It's not even as sophisticated as like that sort of thing. And obviously, real gym creeps exist. Like there are actual guys who go to the gym to pick up girls, and vice versa. There are women who go to the gyms, like older women who try to mac on the young, muscular men there, and it's uncomfortable, and it's probably a good reason to go to a single-sex gym, honestly, is this sort of stuff. You know, this trend wouldn't even be able to exist if gyms were single-sex. But I do think that we should like be open to the idea of them recording like an actual gym creep. The problem is that these women who are just looking for victim points, the ones who are just videoing guys in the background, guys walking past. I've literally seen these TikTok videos. Like the guy just walks past, and she's got the camera pointed at him, and she's, it's that sort of stuff. And those sorts of people are actually getting in the way of real victims who actually do want to tell their story and actually do have a real video of a gym creep. Not that I think that there are going to be that many videos of gym creeps, because honestly, if you've got your phone out at the gym, you're not exercising, essentially.
Well, it's against gym policy, isn't it, to have a phone take an image of anyone, I think.
No,
Should
it
be.
is. It is actually. I am a member of Elliott Fitness and another gym, and both of them on their wall have printed out that you may not take photos or videos without permission. So yes, the people who make these TikTok videos are breaking the rules by filming other people without their consent, and not just the quote unquote subject of the video, but every single person that appears in the background in one of those videos is also in violation of the rules.
I mean, I am very much in favor of single-sex gyms, but I do think that pluralistic gyms could work if the no cameras rule is strictly enforced. Because looking, it's not so bad. It's uncomfortable, and it can land you in jail if you do it in London, apparently. But videoing people is where the real damage starts to happen, and that's the real problem. So these people who go to the gym and they don't have permission, and they're setting up these like fake exercise routines which are really meant to display their butts to the cameras, is they're going to get people looking anyway. As I said on Twitter, the gayest guy in the world is going to look at a woman who has a big camera like set up and sound and is twerking at the camera. Like that's inherently something that's going to catch your eye and make you look at it and probably give you a bit of a chuckle, because it's inherently weird. So, like the postures that these women are doing anyway. Like if you look at the most famous one, which is this guy's just sitting in the background. I think he's on his phone, and she's like, this guy's creepy. He's right behind me. And then she gets this big like a set of weights, and she sticks it on her belly, and she starts thrusting at the ceiling. And it's the most ridiculous, dangerous looking thing I've ever seen, like done in a gym. And like the guy isn't even really looking at her. Like I don't think he even was looking at her from the video. Have we got that video that we can show people? Because it is really something.
I'm just going to say, I don't see why people feel the need to record themselves in the gym. I really don't.
Oh.
I mean, I used to go to the gym myself years ago, and I'm now too overweight and too old to care. But the last thing I'd want to do is be recording myself exercising. To be honest, it's like, what is wrong with you? Unless this is being done in a professional sense. For example, the trainer is recording you so they can go back over your form or what have you when you're using a certain type of weights or certain machine. And that's one thing. But for you to do it, it just shows one of the big problems with society in general. We're too hung up on trying to be famous or what have you, rather than just going about our daily lives. And it's one of the biggest problems, I think, with these sort of smartphones and cameras and stuff on. Everyone's trying to have their 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't have the video you were just talking about, Ma, but I do have a video from TikTok. If you want to watch it, it's 10 minutes long. It's a compilation of different videos. We can pause it, break it down. Ma, I'm not hearing you.
Sorry, you all went silent there for a minute. I was trying to find another one of these videos to show people. What did you say?
I said I actually have a video on TikTok we can watch now. Load it up.
Thing.
I don't think it's the video you're talking about.
That's fine.
Okay, I'll stream it now.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. Hope you guys are doing well. Leave a like if you agree with this video. This one specifically, because this cannot fly. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. And today, we are talking about a brand new pandemic spreading across every gym. The rise of the TikTok gym influencers. These have to be some of the most brain-dead, annoying attention seekers I have seen on the internet for a hot minute. Now, I made a video on the last girl we talked about. Her name was like Jessica. She framed the guy in a gym for being a creep.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
I hate this. I hate when there's weirdos. It makes me so uncomfortable. Feral, like fucking feral. There's mirrors everywhere, so it's like you can easily catch people. Act. Oh, this is nothing.
And when the internet absolutely destroyed her for it, she took it all back and apologized. But the fact remains, she tried painting some random man in the gym out to be a creep. And that's the thing. Nowadays, everyone in the gym thinks it's just fine to film everyone, film everything, and that you filming doing a fucking squat that everyone's seen a million times is apparently more important than anyone else in the gym. So I have some clips lined up, courtesy of Joey Swole. Went for a ton of his clips, and you're about to see the shit that I saw. So let's start first with girls who are filming guys just glancing or having a look over near them because they're in their line of sight or doing something in the gym and trying to paint them out to be creeps. And of course, there are creepy guys in the gym. There's creepy guys everywhere. But this trend now where girls are filming any guy who looks at them just for clout to try and expose them to gain sympathy and support is the biggest load of shit I've seen in a while. As you can see, all this guy did was walk across from this girl. Bear in mind, she also has a phone set up filming, glances over at her, and that's it. You know, it was a crime to look at anyone. How is that enough to label someone and blast them on social media as a creep? And I'm telling you, stick around. It's only going to get worse from here. Watch this.
So if we can just talk about that first one, I want to take a pause just for copyright issues, just in case. But you kind of saw someone looking at, not even her, but looking at where the camera would be. I mean, if you go to the gym and you bring a personal webcam, you set it up on the floor, then yeah, people are going to glance at it as they walk by. They're going to be curious, oh, why is this person filming? Is this person a celebrity? Am I on camera somehow? Is it pointing towards me? I mean, it would be a normal thing to look at the camera if you are walking past it. But the fact that it's considered okay, it's considered fine to set up a camera and film a stranger without their consent. But then at the same time, it's also okay to blame the person who's actually looking at the camera. So the person who's setting the scenario up isn't to blame. The person who just innocently responds or reacts is all of a sudden a creep. I mean, the entitlement of that and the arrogance of that and the misandry of that is just outrageous.
I was about to say, isn't it actually more creepy to set the camera up in such a way that you're recording everyone within a set space. I mean, that would, to me, sounds more creepy than somebody just looking over at you. You ask me. But, you know, there are sort of headgear and things that you could wear as well, where the camera is just on you. You might just catch a glance of somebody going past or what have you. But I would make the argument that these influencers that are doing this are far creepier than anyone they're actually catching.
Well, and it's when you consider the fact that they go out and do it on purpose. So they actually plan it out ahead of time. They go with the intention to make these videos. And that raises the question, to what extent do they position themselves on the gym floor? And to what extent do they position the camera angle? And to what extent do they behave intentionally with the intent of attracting people to look at them? Even if it's just a glance in their way. You know, like, what if they are playing loud music and they have the video muted? Or what if they were just playing loud music 20 seconds ago and then turned it off? Or what if they were jumping up and down and making a loud stretch and then they started doing their workout and they cut that part out? I mean, when you watch these kind of videos, you have no idea what else was going on. And so when you consider the fact that they go to the gym with the intent of making these videos, they go onto the gym with the mission in mind is to capture one of these videos and to make these videos happen, you have to wonder just how much are they manipulating the space.
Well, doesn't all of this end up pathologizing people looking at each other? I mean, aren't we still sexual beings? I mean, it's what's going on here? We're absolutely not supposed to look at each other? What is that all about? You know, I mean, that's so paranoid, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just think 30, 40, 50 years ago, looking at someone in public and talking to them wasn't seen as creepy. And
No.
I do agree that for a long time, behaviors like Harvey Weinstein and that kind of behavior and those kinds of predators were able to get away with things. And I do think it's good that time has caught up to that and has called those people out. But now it's reaching the point where men who are literally not doing anything wrong at all, they're not even trying to talk to you and they're not even trying to look at you, are being filmed and recorded and shamed online, to me shows that we really need to go, okay, this has gone too far and we need to reel it back a little bit.
I find this very interesting that it's okay for her to film, it's not okay for him to look, but the entire video is about her positioning her body so that she can make vaguely sexual, like, hip thrusts and things under the guise of exercise in the middle of a gym. I mean, that's the real point of these videos, is it's all about, like, waggling the booty and stuff, because nobody watches these videos to get exercise tips. Like, that's not what's going on here. If you wanted to watch a video about exercise tips, you'd go on YouTube, you'd type in an exercise video and you'd get a whole routine. You wouldn't watch somebody splayed backwards with their arms on the floor, waggling the rest of themselves in the air. And it's not even really exercise as such. Like, I mean, I've seen that video before, and I think the first video in that is actually the one where she's trying to lift the weights with her hips, but I can't really remember. Unfortunately, I can't actually see any of the videos, but yeah, that's one of them, and it's a very, very strange video. It looks very OSHA non-compliant, and there's actually several more of those videos stringed together if you want us to play the next one below.
Okay, so I'm just going to continue on.
This guy get angry when I do a handstand.
Wow.
Hey, do you ever walk into a room and completely forget why you're there?
Right. That ad goes on at least 5 times a day in Florida. It's so annoying. But wow, I mean, he wasn't even glancing at the camera. I mean, it's so obvious that that guy was not looking at them. How deluded or narcissistic do you have to be to watch that footage and think that that's an example of someone looking at you creepy? I mean, that was nothing.
The fact that he was trying to work with a medicine ball, which isn't exactly a light piece of equipment anyway, and you don't know how long he'd be doing that particular exercise for. Thus, he's probably in a fair bit of discomfort and strain at that point. So,
And her camera is staring at him.
again, this is the point I was trying to make earlier on. These people are far more creepy for setting these cameras up in the way that they are and filming people more than likely without any kind of consent. I know the law's slightly different in America, where in some states only one person needs agree to being filmed or recorded.
Yeah, in some states that would be legal, but it's still creepy to do either way. And
Yeah,
at
it
the very
is.
least, at the very least, if you set up a camera in public, it's your fault if people look at you.
Yeah, that's the number one problem with actually taking pictures in the street and stuff like that and videoing the street. It's not like people getting angry at it. It's people like looking at you, stopping right in the middle of the frame, looking closer, waving, smiling, that sort of thing. It's them interacting with the camera. And that gets it's not too bad when you're taking still pictures with a big camera, but if you're taking video, it's an actual thing. It's quite annoying. Painter, your mic's live, and Ragus too.
To that point, this is a video on YouTube that I really enjoy. It's New York City's high definition in the early 90s, in 93. And you can kind of see what we're talking about. Let's watch this. And I swear this was filmed in 93. They did have high definition back then. But just look at how different. And you could talk over it because I don't think the audio is all that important. It's more about just looking at people's faces. You see exactly what Ma was just talking about. People naturally look towards a camera. It's like the natural inclination if you see a video camera and you walk past the video camera to look at it. And this was in the early 90s. Whereas if anything, people were less familiar with video cameras and less familiar with the idea of being filmed and put online. Today, it's the norm. So how come it didn't bother anybody here in New York City, but these people in the gym bring their cameras? So not only is someone filming them, which is the claim that it's inappropriate to look at someone else, they bring a camera, the only purpose of which is to record other people. And then, even before they have any evidence of someone creeping on them, because they all claim that this happens spontaneously, and they don't bring the cameras just to film people, but they bring cameras to record themselves, and then it just so happens that they capture someone. But if that's true, then they admit that they don't actually have any evidence prior to the fact. They just turn on their cameras in the assumption that someone will end up looking at them. Or, if they do know that someone is looking at them, then that means that it wasn't spontaneous, and it wasn't something that just they happened to capture on their camera. So either way, they're lying. When they say that, oh, this was something that we just set up spontaneously, and then we happened to capture these men, but we're not filming people without their consent, that sentence is impossible. You can't have it both ways. So I just think it's interesting. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say it's worth remembering that these aren't just people filming on their phones. It often is when they start out, they'll have like a mini tripod for their phone. But even if you're doing that, you've got quite a large, weird looking object pointed at you. and it's in the middle of, like, if you imagine one of those things that they used to survey the streets, that's pretty much what it looks like in the middle of a gym. So it looks quite strange and out of place. But then the more important, I was going to say important, the more prolific and well known of these people are going to have bigger cameras. They're going to probably have semi-pro cameras if they're at all serious about it. This is a camera that's going to be larger than a regular camcorder. It might be a regular camcorder, but it'll be like slightly bigger, slightly chunkier. And putting something like that up in the gym is it's quite an eye-catching thing. Yeah, or a DSLR. They can record audio and video now. So, you don't usually think of that. So you will have a DSLR, which is a big ass camera, and it'll probably have like a big fluffy mic on it. And somebody will be looking at it and going, those things do video? Because it's not that well known that those things do video. But they'll have it set up and it'll be like, good grief, that's weird. And like the big lens and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to look like a ghost is taking pictures of her, basically. Which is a weird thing. And it's not even like they're usually not even looking at the girl when you go through these videos. There was one that was quite interesting where there was this guy who was just sitting on the end of a weight bench or something similar, and he wasn't looking at her. He wasn't really looking at anyone. He was just sort of sitting there. And I don't know why he was sitting there, but her take on why he was sitting there was that he was a gym creep and that he was creeping on all the girls who were around the gym. I couldn't see any girls near him. I couldn't really see much at all. So all I could see was this guy in the video, so I don't know. And I don't think this woman who was videoing him knew either. But she was like going up to him and confronting him about it. It's just this old guy sitting there. I don't think he could even really hear her. Like he wasn't paying attention to her at least. So it's like it's a craze, and I'm pretty sure it's because they want attention and they want victim points, because the kind of person who videotapes themselves in a gym, who isn't giving exercise tips, who's just basically twerking at a camera, male or female, is the kind of person who wants super huge amounts of attention and wants people looking at their bodies, and like wants their fans to be giving them sympathy and stuff. And because sympathy is like, there's entire medical conditions where the person is just like really wants sympathy and wants attention and stuff like that. Munchausen's is one. And
by proxy. Yes, also.
Yeah, factitious disorder is the when it's not by proxy. But yeah, it's like there's even more conditions like that. There's so many. There's conditions specifically set up around like attention-seeking behavior. Oh, Blue, we can hear you bashing dishes, by the way. Do we want to go on to the rest of this video?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Or a new video?
I will also just add there's a condition where people actually injure themselves and disable themselves on purpose because they enjoy being in hospital.
That's Munchausen syndrome. And then Munchausen syndrome by proxy is where a parent, who's almost always a mother, injures their child in order to manipulate the medical system and get attention from doctors.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, she wants all the attention. Like, the attention is focused partially on the child, but there's a lot of derivative attention as well. that you get by proxy from having a sick child. In fact, because you can walk around and you're not in the hospital, you can go to all your friends and you can be getting constant attention from them while your child is in the hospital basically being ignored. Or you can be the mother who's sitting by the bed and like imagining people thinking, oh, she's so brave, like her poor child, she's such a good mother. That's what they really want. You know, it's like that's what's going through their head.
These men would stop being creepy if they were really, really good looking.
No, I think some of them are just plain old narcissists, and they would do it no matter what.
And they're not even making a distinction between glancing at someone versus staring at them. I mean, nobody wants to be just blatantly stared at. Well, I guess I can't say that. Maybe some do, but you know, they're not making the distinction there between some guy who's just glancing and versus some guy who's standing there staring and drooling.
Yeah.
I mean, we should be very clear that we're not talking about actual creeps here, because nobody likes actual creeps. Actual creeps are scum. But we are talking about made up creeps, essentially. Like people looking for creeps while themselves actually engaging in very creepy behavior, very weird behavior, honestly, if you actually watch them in public. It's very like these gym videos are very much inspired by like adult videos generally, and it's it's kind of gross, really.
Well, as I said earlier on, one of these girls had an OnlyFans account.
I think most of them probably have OnlyFans accounts, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, they're broadcasting themselves like exercising in lascivious outfits. I mean, they are clearly looking for attention from somewhere.
If I wouldn't go on OnlyFans, but if I went on OnlyFans and typed in exercise, I bet I would get a similar display of videos like to TikTok, assuming you actually even get thumbnails on there. But I'm pretty sure you'd get something like fairly similar if you could search OnlyFans for exercise videos. I mean, it'd probably be a lot more lascivious, but you would get the same sorts of videos as well, and then you'd probably have a higher tier payment thing where they're naked or something. Anyway, sorry, this is getting uncomfortable. So would you like to move on to the next video, Blue?
Sure, and I'm just gonna say, you should not be the one who feels uncomfortable by looking at someone who is basically looking at you. And the other thing is that men are conditioned to say, oh, sorry, oh, I didn't mean to do that, as if we have to be on the defensive, as if we have to be the ones apologizing because we're being filmed without our consents, and then we're being told to apologize for it? Well, why should we have to apologize for it? We're not the ones making the situation happen. We're the victims of the situation. We didn't even know there was a situation, and then we were placed in it without our consent. So anyway, keep that in mind. We're going to finish this video now. Here we go. Hold on, now I'm not getting any sound.
You always have the whole place to yourself.
Around the gym. To like confront him for walking around the gym. This one almost takes the cake. What did that guy do wrong? You have a camera, you're filming the whole gym, and then you hone in on this one guy who just walks to his bench. Why is this a trend? Why are people doing this and painting normal people who go to gyms, they don't want any of your shit. Usually people go to the gym to get away from their shit. Next, we're going to move on to a whole different category of TikTok gym influencer, the self-entitled brats who think that because they've brought a camera to the gym, everything revolves around them and it's a film set. Look at this girl pointing at her phone like, guys, don't you see the phone? Don't you see I'm recording something? You're in a public space. Of course, people are going to walk past your shitty little camera. They're using the gym too. It isn't your gym just because you set up a camera. When Karen interrupts your recording at the gym. Again, she's fucking walking around the gym. You set it up in probably one of the most public walkways of the gym between loads of machines. Also, what are you even filming? Just a thirst trap? And that machine's probably one of the easiest machines to use. What are you filming it for? Are you teaching someone how to use it? I don't think we're gonna learn much from just staring at your ass.
If you are just vibing before your squat set and a man tries to rush you.
I don't want to be in your video.
What a bitch. Go squat over there. My video's here. It's my gym now. And the guy said he can't, so there might not even be a rack over there or a space to do squats. But because she's filming there, and the guy, rightfully so, doesn't want to be in a shitty little video, she's now taking over that space for herself and now posting it on a TikTok as a man is trying to rush her. When you're clearly been setting up a camera, trying to film, you can't just hog stuff at the gym just because you want to film there.
Gracioso. Sí, pero no gracioso de risa. Gracioso de raro.
Look at her face when someone walks right in front of your recording. Oh man, the self-entitlement of these pricks is off the chart.
Are you kidding me? Again? Really?
Wow.
I have zero shame that I gave them dirty looks.
Shut the fuck up. I have zero shame I gave him dirty looks. Well, you just showed the world you're just a spoiled little brat who thinks the world revolves around you because you put your phone there to record yourself. Well done. I had the complete...
I mean, that one was unbelievable. I mean, the girl who was on the squat machine, they didn't even look at her at all. Like, they literally just happened to be in front of her. So, it's like she feels that they encroached her space. But in fact, she's blaming them for taking any space at all. I've seen some of these videos, but that last one was just wild. Like, unbelievable sense of entitlement. And then you realize a young person who has followed feminism, let's say since 2010, in the last 13 years, most of their lives they followed feminism. No wonder they have these kinds of thoughts. No wonder they have that level of toxicity against men. They really do believe that they're being persecuted by these people. It's really scary. But let's carry on.
Opposite reaction that you hoped for. It's so pathetic and such a me attitude to have in a public space.
What up, cunt?
Calling this lady a cunt because she walked in front of you doing the most basic workouts. The caption, I was salty. I swear, if I ever saw a phone in the gym, I'm punting that sucker. Girl clearly steps away from the bench she's using. The guy goes up and asks, when are you going to be finished with that? She then makes this whole video as if she's proving a point and edits in as if he said fucking bitch when he's clearly just walking away and doesn't say anything. just to try and validate her shitty little opinion. Like, where do these girls spawn from who think they are just God's gift? They think everyone should bow to their feet when you were away from the bench touching your shitty phone. So he went and asked you if you're still using it. Wow, massive crime. Let's put it on social media and make out like he cussed me out too. But then this last video, I have no idea what the fuck went through these girls' mind.
This happened to him at the gym today.
Should I go up to him and just poke him? He looks like depressed. Should I do it? I dare you. What should I do? Should I touch his face? Maybe take off one of his earbuds. You know, he has headphones. Sit? He goes, "Can I help you?"
Man, comedy gold. Comedy gold. He goes, "Can I help you?" Yeah, has a normal reaction to you sitting on his seat.
So let's be honest, if we lived in a society where women were afraid of going out because of men being violent, and we lived in a patriarchal society where women were oppressed, would they have done that? I mean, if these gym creeps were this much of a problem, would their instinct be to do that?
Why would they even be in a gym full of men in the first place if they were scared of men?
Right. It seems pretty clear that they have no fear of men. That they basically assume that men are powerless.
Yeah. It's the assumption that men are powerless. That's exactly what it is. Because they expect whatever encounter or interaction they have, they follow the steps and see how it ends, and it ends in their favor.
They're kind of lucky it wasn't a guy with severe PTSD or something, aren't they? From being in the military. Because if he was completely distracted, not being aware of what was going on, and they've gone up and touched him, and he just out of instinct just lashed out and caught them, you got all sorts of shenanigans going on then, haven't you? I mean,
and then they would have been hurt because they decided to touch someone without their consent, but they would still be the victims of it.
The whole thing just seems utterly ridiculous, immensely narcissistic, stupid beyond all comprehension. It's maybe I'm just getting old, I don't know, but I don't understand any of this. I don't get what it's all about. It seems utterly ridiculous.
And you have to wonder, what were they hoping to get?
The two girls in that last video sounded really young as well. I'd be very surprised if they weren't much older than about 22, 23. But
yeah, look about
that. It speaks to some kind of maldevelopment somewhere within their psyche that they think they can behave like this and it's perfectly normal. I just don't understand it. I really don't. I'm beginning to think that hiding myself away from people might be a good idea these days.
No, it has to be people who call this kind of stuff out. Like, the reason why they go around like it's perfectly normal is because for them it is perfectly normal because no one ever says anything. Their entire life has been acting like that with no consequences.
Yeah, probably even beyond no consequences, probably been rewarded in some ways, flattered in some ways, behaving like that, showing how enlightened they are, showing how empowered they are, how you go girl, how feminist, how assertive they are.
Yeah. It's encouraged. Not only do they not get criticized for it, they get praised for it.
I think we should probably consider like the more wider implications of what this means. Like what where is this coming from essentially?
Severe mental illness brought on by the social media generation. High level of narcissism. You can take it from just about anywhere, can't you? It's not from a good place. It really isn't. I mean, is this a drawback to the participation awards and things like this, and no consequences for doing something wrong?
I kind of meant in the sense of intersectionality, like ideology.
Well, feminism, if you want to put a name to it, the source of all of this. This is men have the power, women are the victims, and therefore women are entitled to be very resentful. Women are entitled to being very self-righteous. What are they hoping for? Someone asked. Well, they're hoping some guy will make a complete fool of himself, display everything, make himself the very stereotype of the male oppressor. That's what they're hoping they're going to get, a reaction like that. The fact that they only seem to be able to get practically nothing just demonstrates how well trained men are, how few of them actually act out. So that it's very difficult to get an image of a man being a creep. It's too dangerous to be a creep. Very few men will do that. They exist, of course, but most men by now have learned to avert their gaze, to go around in a gym as if they were blind. I mean, I do. I sort of do. I mean, I don't look at anybody. I've learned just it's not safe, and I just sort of walk around the gym in my own little world as if I were all alone in the gym.
Honestly, I think a lot of men in general just do that in their day-to-day lives. I know I certainly do. I've been accosted, at least when I was younger, by people with accusations of staring, so I just know now not, like, just pretend people aren't there. I'll even wear sunglasses most of the time I'm out just to head it off.
Yeah, sad.
So, do we think that this is in the process of getting better now that people are beginning to talk about it, or do we think that it's still getting worse?
Still getting worse without a doubt. And it's only going to get worse, to be honest with you.
I'm forced to agree. That's my opinion also. It's going to have to get worse before it gets better.
I think we're actually this is the dark before the dawn, basically. I think it's I think saying that it's going to get worse is more of a case of they're on their last gasp and everyone knows it and everyone can see it and everyone's seeing them for what they are.
I don't know that everyone's seeing it. One of the ongoing frustrations for me is that there are no surveys out there that are capturing information like that. We really have no idea. We know that the number of people that are onto feminism has grown, but the percentage remains unknown. We don't really know. And there is evidence to suggest in the numbers and popularities of feminist statements out there that feminism remains the mainstream.
But to that point, how many people become MRAs and we don't know? Or how many people think like we do but don't say it out loud, so we don't know? Because they feel overwhelmed and they think that it's hopeless and they never talk about it and they just kind of go with the flow. But I wonder, even if you went to a feminist rally, or even if you went to a feminist event, or if you scrolled profiles by people who call themselves feminists, I wonder how many of them secretly deep down don't feel the complete opposite at heart.
A lot of people go with the flow just to go with the flow. But I think that all I've seen from this is blowback and people mocking it. So I think that's a good sign. Anyway,
I mean,
oh, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, I mean, it might be a good sign, but I think something critical is gonna have to happen, like banning like recording in gyms for this finally to just be shut down. To be frank, it shouldn't be acceptable to go into private property like that, where people are doing, quite frankly, activities that would be considered embarrassing, seen in the wrong light, and just start recording.
They actually did this to a blind guy. Like, the guy was staring at nothing. He was exercising. And, like, he got a face full, and they said, well, I don't care you're blind. Like, don't stare. So this is why they wear sunglasses.
Yeah. I was just going to say, there's a recent ad campaign that started up over here in the UK. It's like everybody's got their gym face. I don't know if you've seen that one come up on like YouTube and stuff. And Rage was just talking about people potentially looking in embarrassing situations in the gym. And that's why I think they've done that particular ad campaign, is to try and get more people to go to the gym and say, look, don't worry about how you might look doing exercises and things. But that's a very different kettle of fish to what we've been talking about this evening. I mean, this whole thing just leaves me shaking my head.
See, I want to believe that Maul's right, and that people are noticing this because it is kind of the dawn before sunrise. And I do think that it's probably peaking now in terms of how much damage it's going to do. And in the next few weeks, it's going to become a meme. So while it'll grow and be more prevalent, because it'll be seen as a meme, the number of people who make videos mocking it will also increase. So I think the amount of damage it can actually do is going to go down. And what I'm thinking is that a lot of women are going to get in arguments with their friends over this, because they're going to be telling their friends that they want to do this, or maybe even asking them if they want to help. And then their friend will see it and think, well, this is ridiculous. You're going to the gym with a camera and setting it up. That's not a good idea at all. And I think this will get people talking about it. And I actually think that this will not last very long. And this will prove to be a very unpopular fad. And I think it's going to fade away pretty fast. It's going to crash and burn pretty fast, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is actually a good thing, because when you get to the end of one of these things, that's when it becomes the most ridiculous, because they've just gotten so used to being so bad for so long that they're just comfortable with it, and so they just keep getting worse and worse. I mean, this is why it's so bad to not have consequences. I mean, it's like I mean, if you can't feel pain, then your lifespan is like 12 to 20. You know, on average or something. It's really low because people who can't feel pain will just jump out of a tree for a laugh because they can't feel pain. Like, they're not scared of it because they've never had any consequences. So it's the same sort of principle. Nobody has ever given these people consequences before. And so when they do get consequences or when they do get criticism, they go absolutely ballistic and they think it's abuse because they can't tell the difference. Or even worse, they want to make it out as abuse because they don't want other people to tell the difference, and they want to be able to say, I've been getting loads and loads of abusive messages. So either way, their plan leads to victory. They get the attention they want. Even if it's bad attention, they're getting attention. So, you know, it's like, in a weird, twisted kind of way, we're kind of giving them what they want right now. But I do think that, like, the number of satires of this is astonishing, and then the speed they've been produced is amazing. Like, there's just so many of them. If you go almost, like, I've just been browsing around randomly and I've come across like loads of them. I just haven't come across anybody trying to defend this because it is patently ridiculous. Like, they're either ignoring it or they're mocking it or they're joining in. Like, there doesn't seem to be any defense of it at all. I mean, there might be, if somebody can find somebody defending it. I think that might be hilarious just to pick through. I mean, we could probably imagine what they're going to say, and it will totally ignore the videos themselves and just be like, how dare you? But I haven't seen any of that. You know, at least I haven't personally seen any of that. And I tend to, like, look through all of this stuff almost constantly. So if I haven't seen it, then it's probably there, but not that common. But I mean, I haven't seen anyone else talking about seeing any of this, like anything defending it. Have any of you?
It's actually funny you say this because I heard someone talking about it yesterday. I was in a 7-Eleven, if anyone knows what that is, and these two guys were joking about, oh, this chick was not even doing anything. She was just recording other people looking at her. And they were talking about the gym. And they weren't, like, they were laughing about it. It didn't seem to, like, bother them. But at the same time, they were talking about it and they recognized what it was. It's actually kind of really bad at my gym. Like, we kind of joke about it at the LA Fitness in Delray. These TikTokers will go to a corner and they'll take over this entire mat, and they'll put like towels and they'll put like speakers, and they'll set up a whole little space for themselves, almost like a little studio. And then they'll do these like half an hour workouts, which is 95% of them just stretching and posing, and do a tiny little workout and then take a picture of it. And it's very obvious like what it is. But at the same time, they set up these big cameras filming everything around them like they own the space. So I think this is not going to stay secret for much longer.
On that note, I think we should probably wrap this up. Dakichi, if you'd like to take us out, or
Yeah, I can take us out.
okay, thank you.
Sorry, I haven't been talking much. Just 5 things at once. Kind of day. But so if we're ready to go out, this has been the Men Human Rights Discord server. We're the semi-official Discord server of the Men Human Rights subreddit. We are here every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. UK time, which is 1:30 Central, 2:30 Eastern. We always love having you guys here. We love hearing what you have to say. So please feel free to always speak up in our chats. You can always contact one of the admins if you're trying to speak, but you can't get in. If you have a topic idea, we're always open and taking topic ideas. You can message Men Are Human, Blue Orange, M Painter, or myself, and we'll take them into consideration. But until then, see you all next week.